Welcome to ACS Composite. My name is Joseph, and today we're looking over our splitter lineup. In the last 2 years, we've introduced our 1VM, our 5VM, and most recently, our 7VM splitter. This is a recap video where we're actually going to show you the 1, 5, and 7 together just to answer that infamous question we get on the phone, what's the difference? So let's go over. We've laid them all out, and basically we'll give you the pros and cons or a little bit the attitude that each splitter offers. Our 1VM splitter is our entry-level splitter. It is priced very aggressively, and it is the splitter that suits most customers. It's very conservative. It's an upgrade from the Z51. The Z51 splitter that comes with your car is in textured black, the biggest eyesore that everybody complains about. 2, it's a 3-piece design, so there's seams on it. And people don't like that. It really just doesn't make the car look as luxurious as it really is. The 1VM basically addresses that. It's a single piece design. It's a tad more aggressive on this area here. Basically, this is a feature carried over from the OEM 5VM, and it's got no winglets. So much like the Z51, it really does give you a very subtle look. We see a lot of HTC guys jump on this, and the guys going for a more elegant feel for the car. We then have our 5VM. This one's pretty simple. This is the infamous option that came out when the C8 was released. GM offers it in carbon fiber. Ours is offered in a PC Composite. So all the splitters are offered in our PC Composite, which is a material that was developed specifically for splitter and aero components. Main properties are that it's rigid, it's strong, it's durable, chip resistant, and scrape resistant. Even mechanically speaking, this is 3 times stronger than what other competitors are offering. So while people are doing fiberglass or ABS, this is a PC blend, which gives us a very strong, sturdy part. So when we're comparing the 1 to the 5VM, the main difference is the winglet on the side. And the winglet on the side is used to basically bring airflow around the front wheels. It's a very nice feature and somewhat aggressive. We'll notice that there's a little body line on it, which is horizontal. It's got a little curvature to it. So if we look at the 1VM, it doesn't have a winglet, but because it wraps around the car, we've still carried over that feature. So we still have created somewhat of a mini winglet that doesn't stick out. So that's what gives you a really nice side profile on the 1VM splitter. And obviously these do have matching rockers. So generally people will do a mix and match. On my car for the longest time, I had a 1VM splitter with a 5VM side rocker. I thought that gave me a nice wedge look and made the car look more aggressively stanced. Some guys like to stick to the options, meaning 1VM rocker, 1VM splitter, 5VM rocker, 5VM splitter. But that's really your choice and the fun part of choosing the aero package for your C8. And then finally, a few weeks ago, we released our 7VM splitter. What we've done is we've carried over the profile, meaning the notch in the middle, the thickness of it, and the angle of attack. We really wanted to retain that because that's what gives us the drivability of our splitter lineup. This were specs that were taken from the Z51, meaning ground clearance, the angle of attack, that's what gives you the room to drive up steep driveways or down an underground parking lot. So that's what gives you the ease of mind. Add to this the cameras and the lift that's on the C8. You basically have a splitter that will probably last the complete ownership of the car. To this day, we haven't had a customer yet break, but we do get customers that scrape, and generally in parking lots. That infamous cement stopper at a mall and things like that, people do tend to inch to it trying to protect their car. Our 7VM splitter is the most aggressive, and this is basically our final splitter that we're introducing for the Stingray. So we've used a feature we find on the side of the car, the boomerang, or what we call it the inverted 7. And that's a design element that we carried over in our 7VM line. And just like the 1 and the 5, the drivability, the material, the mounting system, the insulation, it's all the same. So it really comes down to a cosmetic difference between the splitters. Until today. Today we're introducing our undertray system for our splitter lineup of the C8. And what this entails is basically a reinforcement for the bottom of the car. This is a reinforcement system that goes under our splitters and improves the aerodynamic by making the bottom of the car flat, parallel to the ground. It fills that void that our splitters generate. So all the splitters, whether the 1, the 5, the 7, they basically overhang the car. We're using the leading edge as an aero benefit. So now we're basically closing the loop. We're taking that leading edge and bringing it back to the back of the car and reinforcing it all. So what this does, it gives you tremendous aero benefits at high speed and basically resistance to any scrapes. The system itself is a bolt-on, so there's no mods. It is removable, it is serviceable, so it's really the best of all the worlds that we could offer. It mounts using all the OEM mounting points of the splitters, using these brackets, and some of the chassis mounts in the back of the car, or I should say the panel fasteners that are located there. This will fit all our splitters and also the OEM splitters. So if you do have a visible carbon fiber 5VM splitter package, which I think was like a $4,000 option, this will fit that car and it will protect it and it will ensure you don't break it during the ownership of the car. The way it works, we have 3 sub-mounting brackets that get bolted. We have U-nuts that get installed and are included. And once these 3 are on, we have our main piece, which is the under tray itself. So the under tray itself is made of the same material, which is a PC. It is a black composite material, very rigid, very strong, so the same mechanicals, and it's all bolted on. Once this is done, you end up with a very rigid, strong assembly with a leading edge. So we notice on this edge, I have a beveled edge. What this does, it's gonna wrap around the front edge of my splitter. So if you do drive in an underground driveway or you go up a steep airport parking lot and you do hear that little small scrape, this will protect it. And to make things even better, what we've done is we've designed removable, serviceable scrape guards. Now, if you're a track goer and time is everything, you're probably not gonna install these. So that's why we've done it as a separate item. If this is a daily driver and basically a car you enjoy around town, I would install these. They're really great, same material, and they're skid plates. So they're basically a series of high points that will stick out that will be the first contact with a cement curb. If ever you scrape these, we're including a few extra in the kit. They're riveted on, you just take them out, put the new ones on, and again, this will just extend the life and make the under tray look even prettier 10 years from now, unlike most scrape protective systems we've seen in the past. So it's a really nice aero benefit and a protection. So what we'll do is we'll go through the installation and basically show how easy this is. I would say most guys could tackle this at home. Hardest thing or the biggest job is really to get the car off the ground, simply because you do need to get deep to get to the 10mm bolts that are located in the back. So let's walk over to the car and get this on. We're ready to install the under tray system on the C8 Corvette. This particular car has a 5VM splitter, so the installation is the same as if it was an OEM splitter. So we're basically using that as our example. The installation is the same if you have the 1 or 7 VM. We got the car off the ground, which is really important. That gives you access to all the screws. So we're dealing with a series of T15 screws. I'll be using a battery-powered screwdriver to take that out. You could probably get away with ramps. I have a set of 4-inch ramps. I'd probably say 12 makes it a lot easier, or the minimum to enjoy the install and not suffer with fastening and getting deep down in. The under tray is about 40 inches, so you basically need to have access to those screws. I'm now setting up my under tray. For my setup here, I'm opting to install the skid plates. This is really what's going to be hitting the ground when you're going down a driveway or a curb. So these are really great for that reason. They're serviceable, meaning if you scrape them over time, you will have a few extras that you could service, or you could probably come back to us to get some more. These are held on using rivets. So for that, I'm using a hand riveter. Installing the skid plate is very simple. We line it up in the feature and basically install the rivets through it. I put both in just so that I'm pre-aligned. Rivet gun, it's a hand rivet with a 1/8 adapter on it. Apply pressure. One pull, it's basically collapsing at the other end to finally break the nail off. My next step is to prep the mounting bracket system. So this one is the center one, obviously passenger and driver side. These are molded to match the shape of the splitter and the car, so it's the interactive component. This is really the ticket to our system for its strength and rigidity, because when you scrape, we have the leverage. And this distance is giving the leverage so that our under tray system doesn't fold or bend out. And what we need to do is install our U-nuts on the trimmed out notches. So very straightforward. we're fastening it this way. So the threaded fastener goes on the upper edge. I'm cleaning the complete surface with our Renew plastic maintainer, simply because I won't see this again. I'm getting ready to install my center bracket system. We do have provision for double-sided tape, which we basically designed it into the part. Not required if you're doing the ACS. If you're doing the OEM, you may, simply because their part is made out of carbon and it's a little more inconsistent than ours from a thickness standpoint. And built into it as an option. I'm doing a dry fit on it, and I have a perfect fit. I'm flush with the splitter itself, which is what we're looking for. And I'll start with my center fastener, which are the OEM ones that I just took off. I'm applying pressure to the bucket simply because I have to collapse the 3 pieces of plastic to get to the U-nut. The end one I'm not installing yet because the overlapping side bucket is sharing a common mounting point. There's an overlap that happens at the junction point, so I'm making sure it all lines up. The interconnecting screw is the hardest. We do have a slot in it, which basically accommodates the extra large washer. So our mounting system is fully fastened to the car. We're now ready to install the undertray. The undertray is a large panel, so you're probably going to need some help, and we have some fasteners to remove. So the first fastener I'm removing is the one on the tab from the side panel. It's got the little triangular tab, that's how I could tell it's the one to remove. I then go forward, and it's the connecting tab between the 2 panels, the center undertray of the car and the brake cooling panel. And I'm now alternating. I'm leaving 1 screw, removing 1 screw, and applying symmetry to the other side. Now this is a Z51 car, so I don't have a little insert that goes here. On the non-Z51 cars, they've eliminated the brake cooling duct. So if you do have a non-Z51 and you're doing this upgrade, you're probably not going to want to put that back on. But if you do, you can. These 3 screws are also on our under tray, so they're all common. So it's really your decision on it. If it was my car, I'd probably just leave it and get more air to the brake system. Trying the under tray. Like I said, you should get some help. What I'm doing now is I'm just putting some fasteners on so that it could take the weight off of the panel itself. The installation is complete of the under tray, and visibly from the outside what you notice is the lip, the wraparound lip. So basically this is a molded edge that wraps around the splitter. That's how we're able to protect it. It goes on the whole perimeter. Obviously it's just raw plastic. We're leaving it that way because if you rub something, we don't want to damage it. In contrast to the carbon flash, I think it's a nice trimmed edge. It gives you the protection you need, and most importantly, gives you that rolling edge when you're scraping something. So when you're adding a skid plate underneath and it's got that little tripping effect, well, that creates damage. Here we really wanted to go around as much as we could without changing the look of the splitter, but giving you the protection of that edge. So whether it's a carbon fiber one or these carbon flash painted ones, we want to make sure that if you scrape, we have those skid plates underneath to protect you, but also the edge on the perimeter of it. The large panel itself spreads the load everywhere, so it gives you a nice solid assembly now of the front clip. And whether you're racing or driving this around town, you got the protection and the air benefits that you would expect from a well-designed under tray. This was the installation on the ACS 5VM splitter. Very similar install if this was an OEM carbon fiber splitter. What you'd have to deal with is the rough surface of the carbon fiber interior. Usually those are pre-preg parts and they have a very rough finish. So what I would probably do on those is use some sandpaper to clean it up. In the video we mentioned the provision we did for the tape to help you compensate for that. If you're installing it on one of the ACS splitters, all you have to do is clean it, as you saw us do it. It's a consistent part thickness, it's smooth, it's rigid, so that there's nothing to be concerned about on the ACS setup. When it comes to purchasing the under tray, it is going to be an option on the website, whether you're buying the 1VM, it's got its own specific under tray, the 5VM and the 7VM. It'll be an option, which is great since it's a bulky item, will ship with the splitter itself. If you're one of our customers that already purchased these in the last 2 years, it will also be a standalone item. So we're going to be putting all the links below, showing you all the differences in between and the discussed under trays on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Today's goal was really to show in one segment our 1, 5, and 7 VM side by side, so you were able to appreciate the differences between how some are more aggressive than others, the sizes, and obviously the introduction of our new under tray. So we're really excited about that. I hope you guys enjoy the development work that went into this, and obviously the benefit that we're offering in protecting and enhancing the aerodynamics of the front of the car. And as always, if you'd like to see more stuff, please do subscribe. We'd love to connect with you guys. If you have any suggestions or comments, you're welcome to reach out to us.